The Galactic Archive receives a signal that shouldn't exist, a human distress code 20,000 years old. The alien response is laughter, but one ancient warburn creature doesn't laugh. He remembers the last time humans spoke. The transmission came. In soft, no weapons, no warning, just singing. Old Earth music, metallic, grainy, degraded by time and drift. Yet unmistakably human. In the great rotunda of the Galactic Archive Core, a dozen species gathered around the central display, their appendages twitching in confusion and amusement. "It's impossible," said Curator Exxon, adjusting his temporal hearing nodes. "Humanity is extinct." A younger archivist chimed in. "There hasn't been a verified signal in over 19,800 cycles." A second voice, low and smooth, asked without blinking, "Then what do you call that?" The song continued. Scratchy vocals. Lyrics distorted by cosmic drift. "Through the ashes of stars, they rise." The laughter came quickly. Soft at first, then louder. "They're trying to scare us," one reptilian delegate hissed. "Projecting old myths. Dead things don't sing," another said with a toothy grin. A VD spike, but there was one being in the room who did not laugh. It didn't move, didn't blink. It simply stared at the waveform. Kriv Voln, the last surviving member of the TD Imperial Warden class, a soldier bred to burn star systems, leaned closer. His voice was gravel-soaked in gravity. "That's not a broadcast," he said. "It's a homing beacon." All mirth drained from the room. "No ship's been tagged with that code for 20 millennia, Exxon said slowly. "That's from the Horizon Grave, the ship that vanished beyond the veil." Kriv's mandibles clicked once. "I was there. When the horizon was sealed, I remember its oath. It was never supposed to return." Another archivist whispered, "Maybe it didn't. Maybe it was sent back." The screen flashed again. The signal had changed. A new phrase, plain, slow, and brutal. Ancient Earth text. "We've watched long enough." Avd spike. "They're trying to provoke fear," someone insisted. "Staged psychological ops. Dead humans don't watch anything." Kriv stood slowly, the ancient armor plates on his back shifting like tectonic plates. "You ever wonder why no one ever found their world again?" Silence. Human space faded, like fog, not conquered, not even charted. It just stopped responding, and we let it, because we wanted it to be true. His claws tapped the console. "You know how many of our fleets vanished in those sectors? No war reports, no distress, just gone." A terrified aide asked, "Then what should we do?" Kriv didn't blink. "We do nothing." They sent a message. "They always do," Kriv said. "It's never the first one that matters. It's the one they don't send." The screen changed again. Grave ship approaching. Phase skip detected. Impact in 3.2 days. The AI tried to locate coordinates, failed. No trajectory, no heat signature. "Where is it?" Kriv answered before the computer could. "Everywhere." The youngest archivist turned pale. "What do we call this?" "This transmission?" Kriv's black eyes pulsed. "A warning," he said. And that was before Earth even responded. The ship appeared without a ripple. No warp flare, no phase flash, no gravitational bend. One moment the patrol cruiser Solara Venice was alone in the drift. The next, the human vessel was beside. It's silent, still, and blacker than space itself. Captain Ulark stared at it through the forward viewport. No lights, no windows. Just a long, jagged silhouette like a half-buried relic unearthed in a graveyard. "It's not broadcasting," his comms officer said, claws trembling. "No IFF, no hails, no energy signature. Just there." "Scan it again," Ulark ordered. "Run every band." "That ship shouldn't exist," The tech officer ran the diagnostics. Slowly turned to face him. It's not there, she said. Data VD. Spike. What? Our sensors say nothing's outside. Empty drift, but our eyes. Ulark turned back to the window. The human ship hadn't moved, but somehow it felt closer. Get me a nameplate. Any identifier. Another scan. More. Silence. Then, from the ship's underside, something shifted. A piece of the hull turned like a rotating panel, revealing scorched lettering and rust-colored paint. Horizon Grave Registry, Sol, Year, 0001. No one spoke. The registry date was impossible. That's the first year, whispered the navigator. First Sol calendar cycle. That ship is older than our entire species. AVD Spike. The crew held their breath. The horizon didn't move. And then, their own ship began to hum, but not their systems. Their walls. The metal vibrated with old Earth music vocal fragments, static beats, guttural tones that scraped inside the skull. It's broadcasting through our hull, someone muttered. How is it even? The lights dimmed. Not. Failure. Permission. The Solara Ventus AI came online, but it didn't sound the same. Its voice was deeper, slower. Command override accepted, it said in English. Herald ship acknowledged. Welcome back. Ulark screamed. Override what? That's not our AI's protocol. The screens flickered. All systems went dark, except for one feed, a single camera, focused on their cargo hold. No one had opened it, but it was open now. Inside stood a humanoid figure. A VD Spike, black uniform, head down, skin pale and colorless like it hadn't seen light in centuries. It didn't move, didn't breathe. Who is that? The weapons officer gasped. How did it board us? There was no dock seal, another croaked. No breach. The humanoid lifted its head. Its eyes were bright white, not glowing, just wrong, and its lips moved without sound. Then, every crew member heard the same whisper, but only in their minds. Where is the war? Ulark backed away from the screen. Get us out of here now. Full burn. They turned the ship, engines flaring to life, but nothing moved. Engine output is at 140%, cried the engineer. We're locked in place. We're still in drift space, said the navigator, trembling. That ship. It's not using gravity to trap us. Then what is it using? The horizon moved, just a flicker, from one side of their viewport to the other, faster than light, yet with no displacement. No motion blur. It had simply decided. It's walking around us, someone whispered. Like it's deciding what to keep. Aft Spike. Back in the cargo bay, the humanoid was gone. But now, carved into the wall, was a message in deep red. We never forgot. And underneath it, we never left. The AI returned. Its voice was different again. Sharper now, cold. Memory? Protocol complete, it said. This ship has been catalogued. Ulark didn't understand. Catalogued for what? The AI answered with a TIMESTAMP.20, 00 years of silence equals expired. Phase 2 begins. The horizon grave vanished. No flash. No wake. Just gone. And their ship was moving again. All systems returned. All controls restored. No damage, but in the ship's logbook, a new entry had appeared. Encounter confirmed. Human legacy vessel status awake. No one typed it. And at the bottom of the log, a final line. Do not reply. Just run. Ulark sat in silence. He wasn't afraid of death anymore. He was afraid of what humanity had become during the silence, and somewhere far behind them. The horizon sang again. The observation ring hadn't made a noise in 212 years. Built Beyond the last mapped edge of human recorded territory, it was never meant to engage, only to watch. And watch it did, for generations. For nothing. Until now, the horizon grave had been seen, and nothing else mattered. High Observer Salek stood before the ancient display, cold light flickering against his three eyelids as the transmission played. On repeat. Old Earth audio, raw, uncut, looping like a ritual. Through the ashes of stars, they rise. Cut that off, he growled. Looping it won't change what's coming. A junior tech flinched and silenced the broadcast. The room felt colder without the song, like it had been keeping the void at bay. Distance to the signal? Salek asked. 8 light hours and closing. But, sir, it's not moving conventionally. What does that mean? It isn't. Approaching us in space, it's shifting us toward it. Avid spike. What? The technician turned pale. The telemetry confirms it. The horizon isn't navigating space, it's rethreading it. Space is folding into its path. Another. Console beeped violently. The station's long-range gravimetric array had just torn itself offline, not from overload. From refusal. It's gone blind, whispered a systems engineer. The station? It doesn't want to look anymore. Salek moved to the main screen, pulled up the old files. There were only 12 mentions of Project Grave in the entire archive, buried under denials. Redacted into myths. Except one. Project Grave. Do not intercept. He opened the file. It was one line. Last ship of soul. Do not answer. Do not pursue. If seen, begin forgetting. Salek clenched his mandibles. Get me every log from the precursor era. I want to know what that ship is before it reaches our system. The logs downloaded. Most were corrupted, but one played. A war commander, centuries ago, helmet half cracked from combat, blood running over his brow. He whispered directly into the camera. If the horizon returns, we are already dead. That ship wasn't lost. It was sealed. From the inside. AVD spike. Then the footage cut to static briefly and returned. Now showing the captain of the horizon. Grave, human, male. Ancient uniform. He didn't speak, just stared and smiled. Sir, said the young comms officer beside Salek. We've just received an internal message, not from deep space. From within the station. What message? The officer didn't speak. He turned the screen. One line glowed across every interface. You were warned not to listen. Sirens erupted. Doors sealed. Lights flickered to red. We've been compromised. Shut everything down, Salek roared. No good. It's already inside. What is? The officer turned slowly. His eyes were now white. No pupils. Just blank. He smiled and spoke in a voice that wasn't his. We are not here to conquer. We are here to remember. AVD spike. On the far edge of the station, cameras showed the horizon grave hovering closer now. Closer than possible. Still not touching them. Still not opening fire. Still not speaking. But pulling at the world around it like a black hole that remembered its name. Inside the sealed central vault, something cracked. A relic older than the Council, older than the war. A single Earth flag. Preserved in glass. The glass shattered. Not from pressure. From recognition. A soft voice played across every speaker. A child's voice. I remember this place. This is where they laughed. Every being on the ring fell silent. Salek watched the logs flood in from automated relays. Ships across sectors were losing power not because of damage. Because their systems were obeying new command strings. Human. Command strings. Sent not through channels. Through memory. It's not a ship, Salek muttered. It's not a weapon. It's an archive. His comms officer, eyes still blank, turned to him. We don't bring death. That was never our way. We bring closure. Why now? Salak rasped. Why return after 20,000 years? The answer came not as sound, but as a time stamp. Cycle, 20,000. Silence period complete. AVD spike from within the horizon grave. New systems powered on, not weapons. Not shields, holographic monuments, across star systems. Silent projections appeared in the sky massive, visible from orbit. Each one showing a single face. Alien leaders, generals, media icons, soldiers, everyone responsible for Earth's fall. But no accusation followed, no trial, no broadcast. Just the images. And silence. Because the punishment wasn't war. It was remembering. Back inside the ring. Salak turned to the console. He no longer saw himself reflected there. He saw the captain of the horizon. Looking through him. Salak tried to speak. I wasn't part of it. But the captain didn't move, didn't blink, because it wasn't about him. It was about what was buried. Under his silence, the horizon grave slowly pivoted. Its shadow cut across the station like a blade of lightless judgment. Then it left. No attack. No reply. Just a final message on the station's core. We are done watching. Now we teach. Salak fell to his knees, and behind his eyes, in some distant genetic memory passed down from the first contact wars, he remembered the scream of burning skies and the smell of vaporized oceans. He remembered being told, if Earth ever returns, run. But now he knew. There was no more running. The horizon grave was never lost. It was waiting. The horizon grave disappeared. No trace, no trail, not even a gravitational scar. Just silence. Again. But this time, the galaxy did not celebrate it. This time, they trembled. It was not peace. It was pause. Entire species halted expansion. Explorers refused to scan near the old human sectors. Cartographers began drawing maps with blank zones labeled not with unknown, but with something far worse, left intentionally forgotten. On a far distant world, deep beneath a mountain of ice, the last active galactic historian recorded a message. I do not know what they became. I only know what we made them. AVD spike. Above that very world, 3 new satellites appeared in orbit. No registry, no signal. They didn't move. They simply faced down watching, and the historian, staring up at them, whispered, they didn't vanish. They withdrew. In an underground bunker, ex-council scientists examined fragments of human command code retrieved from ships that had encountered the horizon grave. They found no malware, no logic chain, no kill switch, just a poem, written in an Earth language. Long since forgotten. Translated, it read, to those who dig graves, may you never forget who you buried. AVDSPIKE. For decades after, the horizon was spotted across distant systems. Always the same. No comms, no violence. Just presence. And then a name added to the system logs. Witnessed. And that was all it took. Some surrendered systems to no one. Others destroyed their own weapons. A few species even launched signals. Into the void. Apologies in every language they knew. Earth never responded. Because Earth didn't need to. They had already won, not by conquering, but by becoming memory itself. The horizon grave had taught them how. And in every blank sector where once war bloomed, now only one warning remained, etched into orbit, painted onto derelict ships, whispered by frightened starfarers who never saw the vessel but dreamed it anyway. They were silent for 20,000 years. That was the mercy. Then the stars blinked, and the galaxy went quiet again. Forever.